Alright, so today marks the day that new Skillcapes came out, the rework that people voted on in the player power poll a few weeks ago. And the majority of the community is rioting about it, and they hate it a lot. Like, a lot. If you look at Reddit, the RuneScape subreddit, it's just a giant circle jerk of shit posts of people saying that it sucks. There are a couple in there that have valid points, but the rest are just shit posts circle jerking it. Yeah, I just want to give my opinion on the matter. So here's the news post. Jagex gives us a picture of each of the trimmed capes. Of course, the untrimmed are in here. But on first glance, if you just look through at each of the capes, I mean, I'm not personally seeing anything inherently wrong with them or anything terrible right off the bat. One thing I do note is that the color palette seems to have changed slightly for certain capes. Let's see, most notably the range cape. This green is way more lime than it used to be. It was, I don't even know how to explain the color it used to be. Everyone knows what the old color was like. And then the fletching cape as well was a much darker teal than this. Also, the trim on this was more orange. So, and that's noticeable in several different capes. I mean, every cape seems to have slightly changed its color. I believe the defense blue was a bit lighter than that. So outside of the color change, I can understand the people being upset about that. I get that. I don't understand why people are so pissed. I know they look like it's just horrible on low detail, even worse than the old skill capes looked on low detail. But I mean, it's low detail, not high detail. However, yeah, that could be addressed. I'm sure that could be improved slightly. But again, I am just going to say it's low detail. And I don't know how people can't at least play this game on medium. Like, a very cheap laptop should be able to run RuneScape on medium low settings, not complete minimum. And it will look better on that. So yeah, someone posted an image on Reddit comparing the concept, which is on the right, and the actual in-game cape, saying, well, this is what we asked for, not this. And okay, right off the bat, I'm looking at it, and the first thing that came to my mind was, what's the difference? Like, what's the big difference? Obviously, the trim color, well, it's not even trim, that's an untrimmed Slayer cape, but the whatever you want to call this, the tassels or whatever, is a light gray versus a dark black. Like, that's pretty much a midnight black. Okay, I see that difference. But then if you continue to compare, okay, you've got the same styled hood, you've got the same little golden trim marks here, right? You've got the same texture lines going through it. There's a little, the texture marks on here look a little different, but you can still see a little bit of it, and it's a lighter gray, right? So I definitely see like the difference between the two, but at the same time, I'm not seeing this as looking just absolutely terrible and this looking amazing. I don't understand why this is so much worse than this. It's not like they completely strayed from the initial concept over here and just made this something that we've never even seen before. It's still following the same design. You know, you've got the hood attached to the back, you've got these golden trim marks, you've got the textures in there, you've got this bottom trim line that's new as well. They're all roughly in the same position as this one. Honestly, all I'm saying is this one just looks a little more clean, a little more higher quality, to be honest. But this by no means looks terrible. So I don't understand why people are this mad about it. I could understand people being a little upset. I could understand that. But the level of which people are just going ape shit about this is blowing my mind. I mean, yeah, certain capes do need some love, but I don't know. Overall, it's not that drastically different from what we were shown to, in my opinion, to warrant a response this negative. But they already said, they already caved, and they're like, where is it? So there was an update. Like, we heard you. We're gonna give you a toggle option so you can toggle back to the old capes, which will happen in like 2 weeks or so. So all the people that hate this, it's not gonna matter in a couple weeks anyway. I personally would still use the current design, and I would hope that Jagex would spend a little bit of time touching these up and fixing some of the things that are kind of obvious issues, and I've seen some clipping issues as well. Things like that should obviously be addressed. But outside of the, touching them up and, making them a bit better than they are now, I don't see how they're that much different from the original concept and how they're that much worse. I'm the minority in this, that's guaranteed. I know just about everyone else hates this. But personally, based on this, I don't have a huge problem with it. I would like to see them make the palette a little closer to the originals and touch up some of the clipping issues and certain capes that just don't, like the prayer cape could use some love. That icon is very hard to see. Adding texture around it or just darkening the outline of it, or darkening the cape a bit. Anything to really make that actually show up like the old one. Simple things like that, I think, is a much smarter path to take than just, hey, we're going to add an option for you to toggle back to the old ones and never change these. I don't mind them adding a toggle option, but you should still give, some love to the current issues you see with the capes, because they're clearly there, like the summoning cape as well. Simple things like that really make it hard to see the cape's icon, and it just doesn't look defined at all. And improving the load detail just a little bit so it doesn't look like a piece of paper on your back with an icon. That's what I would like to see. That's my opinion on the matter. I still don't understand why people are this upset about it. I understand why they're upset, but to this extent blows my mind. Then again, we're talking about the RuneScape community, who I swear is bipolar. So I'm not shots firing, it's just my opinion. I'm part of the community as well, so obviously, I'm part of that. I just don't flip like a switch this easily. Anyway, just wanted to voice my opinion on this. I know no one agrees with me, but yeah, that's all the more reason for me to do it. So we'll see. Hopefully, I would just like to see them change a few things on these, but odds are they won't. At least people are going to get the old Skillcapes back. That's it. Just don't riot too much. You'll get your old capes back in a couple weeks.